Join us each week for some booze-free banter about life without booze.
If you're entertaining the idea of cutting back your booze by a day, a week, a month, or for the rest of your life, we would love for you to tune in.
Buckle up and come along for a ride that may just change your life. Just a heads up, some of our conversations we have may be triggering for some. Reach out to your local resource support centre. If you're in Australia, that's Lifeline 131114.
Hey, Breeza.
Hey, Maso, how are you?
Yeah, so good. How are you? How's your week been?
Look, my week has been pretty good. I've got this new thing going on.
Oh, yeah, what you could tell?
So I love books. Like, I am a reader. I love digging into settling in and reading a good book. And I also love just perusing the bookstores. I was in Bright on the weekend and I popped into the bookstore and was served by a lovely man. And I purchased the book. It's called The Wim Hof Method. I'm not sure if you've heard of old mate Wim Hof. He is a dude that he has a strong belief in cold water submersion, breathing techniques and mindset he says, to activate your potential, transcend your limits. So this week I have been having cold showers.
Oh, boom.
So I'm yet to see any benefits. However, I started, so in the book, old mate Wim says start off, so over 4 weeks, start off week number 1 with 15 seconds spurt of water at the end of your shower. Then week 2 is 30 seconds, week 3 is a minute, week 4 is 2 minutes. So clearly I'm up to week 1, but I have to say, the first one I did it, I was washing my hair, finished washing my hair, banged on the cold water, straight cold water, and I felt my brain freeze over. It seriously took me obviously 15 seconds to catch my breath. I was hyperventilating. I definitely haven't got the breath technique worked out. But on the second, so Tuesday, did the same thing. And this time heaps better. I was there having a roll around in it, actually
really getting amongst it. So good.
Yeah, so I'll do the month challenge and just see what it does to me. But yeah, he reckons that a cold shower a day keeps the doctor away and all this other stuff. So anyway, it's worth having a crack at.
That's so good, mate. Really gets the blood going. How invigorating.
Yeah, there's lots of goosebumps that are happening. But What about you? How's your week?
So spark joy for me, it's actually happened today. Little country town that I'm from has a little outdoor gym, which I train at every day, and I'm just getting a bit bored with it, that little area. And in fact, there's a little lady that rolls along and she's not social distancing and she stretches basically back to back. So I've been trying to sort of avoid her a little bit, but today I thought, no, I'm going to change it up. I did see her coming towards me as well, and I'm like, I'm out of there. Abort. So there's a skate park right near this little outdoor gym, and it's so good. It's not graffiti, but it's really cool, colourful, graffiti and artwork just around the sides of the walls. And I loved it. It was just to change that area and space, location, just made such a difference to my workout. I was like, oh, how good is this? And new playlist as well. So I've just loaded with so many playlists on Spotify, but I hadn't listened to this one yet. And I was like, can bang a tune together. So I was real up and about. So I was really stoked with that. So yeah, just that simple little change of location, change of tunes when things are so mundane and really struggling in COVID life has made such a difference. Instead of walking left, walk right, that's been that's sparked joy for me this week. Hungy.
Love that, May. So can you flick me the playlist?
Yes. Yeah. We'll pop it in the show notes. Yes. Link in the bio.
You gotta have shame on your name. Shame on your name. Gonna figure it out. Oh, they're gonna know. Figure it out. Ooh, yeah. Gotta have shame.
Alrighty, I've been nervous about this little segment, May.
Oh, mate. Me too.
You know what? So every episode we are going to be sharing a shame story. However, like we've got a library full of shame stories, and we are not going to be telling all of them because we also want to hear from you guys as well. So get it off your chest. We will be popping each week a little question box on our Instagram story for you to share, if you wish so, to share your shame story anonymously. And these shame stories are obviously when we've been under the influence of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Am I kicking off?
Yes. Yeah, you are. The floor is yours.
Buckle up. So I'm going to take you on a journey back to, I reckon it was early 2000s, maybe 1999 even. Actually, I reckon it was late 90s. I played netball for the Eagle Hawk Football Netball Club. And as you know, in footy clubs, country footy clubs, you have some absolute belter of a end of season trip. Now, bless our cotton socks, we didn't do any fundraising for the year. So there was no flying anywhere. There was no even getting on a bus. We kept it local. And we went to the Allies pub. Now, I know you know the Allies pub, Maso, so if I can set the scene for our listeners, it's a bit of a sort of knockabout kind of pub, got a huge beer garden, real cash kind of setting, like just sort of a pub you pop in, have a frothy, get chatting to the locals and, have a yarn too. So us borough chicks went to the Allies and had a huge session throughout the day. One thing I forgot to mention about the beer garden is there's chooks in the beer garden. When I was there, there's like full farm animals running around the beer garden, right? So got absolutely blind and must have decided to have a roll around in the chook poo. Like, I think, and, and we can laugh about this now because this is kind of a harmless story. No one died, no one got hurt, no chooks were harmed in the making. But, I don't remember it happening. But by this stage it was dark and I think I just, fell over and just ended up rolling in chook poo. So that night, as you do, you go into the Sundance. So actually, Claire, you and I obviously used to work at the Sundance together, had a little stint. And so I ended up at the Sundance and our beautiful friend Genevieve was behind the bar this night. So I ran up to her like blind, "Hey, Jen, how are you, mate?" And she's like, "Pa, what's that smell?" I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Mate, you stink like shit, like actual shit." And I was like, I think then I had a flashback. I'm like, "Oh, shit, yeah, chook poo." So I carried on my merry way. But I was thinking about this story when I was writing it down, thinking, you don't roll in chook shit. Like, you just don't do that. And alcohol made me do it. Alcohol made me do it. So
yes.
That's my first shame story.
It's a good one. Chook poo. I reckon there's something in that. I reckon I'm going to call you Chookie from now on. Or bark, just it's true though. It's true. And carrying on from true chook poo, things you do that you wouldn't normally do because you're under the influence of alcohol. And it's something that hopefully during these podcasts it will be an opportunity for redemption because I'm definitely not that person.
What do you mean? Don't you roll around in chook poo?
Not my preferred choice. I prefer freshly clean sheets, but anyway. So one of my many, the first one that comes to mind, Browen Arms Hotel, Bendigo, run by some cracking blokes. One of my many, either it was a farewell party or a welcome home party or a birthday party or something, some sort of party, drinking, Sunday session, really big day on it, lots of crew there. I black out. The last thing I remember is Black Sambuca shots, and I hate Black Sambuca. Anything aniseed or ouzo related, just like gag. But there's a very, very vague recollection of me grabbing a pot and smashing it on the floor in the bar, and that's all I remember. Then being taken home by one of the guys that was there and waking up in my own vomit.
Whoa.
Yeah, not great. And excuse me, I think I really struggled with that. I was absolutely horrified. I actually messaged these guys to apologise for my behaviour because it was so far from who I actually am. I don't think they've replied.
Have they read it? Can you see that they've read it?
Yeah, it left me on red. They must have run out of data. Yeah. So, look, that's something that really does bother me still to this day, because I think you said, Breezy, you made a really good point of one of our really good friends' mums, and I think you can tell that story now, how she talks about, I'll let you say that actually.
Oh, yeah, it's a ripper. So she always said to us girls, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and a minute to destroy it. And that's what alcohol does.
Yeah, and that's what it did to me. And I'm so shattered, because I know those guys would have been just going, she is an absolute mess, where I know that's not who I am. I'm a good person, I'm kind, but alcohol definitely. And I've found this is really interesting. I've found along the way, lots of people would say to me when I was drinking, "Oh, you're so aggressive." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I actually am. I really was." More of those stories later. Got
a little bit defensive on, like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah, oh, too right. Yeah, not aggressive at all. Yeah, so it's just, very disappointing. But there was lots more of those stories to come. But yeah, sorry to the bro and arm. Sorry, boys. I hope I am forgiven and you could see me for the person I am, that I was under the influence of a lot of alcohol. So, yeah, not great.
So today's topic is, we actually are wanting to introduce ourselves really and talk about how we got here. Why are we here? Why are we doing booze-free Bants, Maso? Like, we've got a bit to unpack, haven't we?
We do. And I think for me, I just want to share the joy of this booze-free life that just uncovers everything is just brighter, greener, louder, clearer, the clarity. I just want everyone to understand it. I just want to share the clarity. It's like sharing wine, but not wine. It's like sharing a drug. It's like this new natural high that we have discovered, and we just want to share it with everyone. Yeah.
And we often say that to each other, like, we feel like we have got a superpower.
Yes.
Like, legit, I'm 3.5 months without alcohol. So, like, I'm a freshie.
Fresh fish.
Yeah, fresh fish. And this is literally, like, since probably the age of, I'd say, I don't know, maybe like 16-ish or so. I'm 41 now, so full disclaimer. It would be like the longest time I have been without alcohol in, what's that? How many years is that? Like 25 years?
Yeah.
That's like life-changing right there.
That's amazing. Congratulations, mate. I'm so proud of you. It's such a feat. It's so good. So good.
Thanks, mate. How long have you been?
So, yeah, I should add that up actually. I'm about 2 months in. Yeah, 2 months in. But I've actually, in my drinking career, I've had some significant times off the gas. The first time was at 14 months, and that was in 2012 into 2013. And hand on my heart, it was the best year of my life.
Was that when you were overseas?
No. So, that's another time. This particular time, I did go overseas. I went to America once for a 3-week stint, went to Bali twice, went to festivals all sober.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. Yeah, yep. Couldn't believe it. We'll get onto that later, but there was another time that I spent, when I moved to Abu Dhabi, I was off the gas for 6 weeks, and that was so good. And then a lockdown last year, I was off it again for about 7 months, I think. So, yeah, I've had some real good little time off, little spells, and it's been the best. But how we've got to this point, I've been wanting to get back off it again, Breeza. And you, my friend, were the catalyst to why that happened. So go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. I needed that.
And it's not until, I reckon, like, a big thing for me was changing my mindset. So if I sort of can step back to when I became sober curious, I suppose, would have been, I reckon it was like 4 years ago. And I was dropping the kids off to school, and one of the school mums who, like, like I see her like a ships in the night, like I hardly know her, but she was talking to me about this book that she'd read called The Happier Hour. And it was about a lady who was in her 30s or so, lived in corporate life and just decided to ditch the booze. So I read that book and that, like, I was like, this is a thing. Like, who would ever think that living a life without alcohol is a thing and can be so amazing? So that sort of started opening my eyes up, because my relationship, like I would have blinders, Maso. Like every weekend you just get blind, blackout, Sunday spent in bed, especially before kids came along, like all day in bed. You'd go to work on Monday, I'd have like this dirty dart cough because I'd get on the darts when I was drinking. Love a good dart on the gas. And so I'd have this dirty, disgusting dart cough going on. And I just thought that was just normal. And that was how it was going to be. So, yeah, I started getting curious, which was, I think I did like 7 months. I was still drinking, but I was driving, as in like I wasn't driving, but I'd have like, no, that's for another same story. That whole thing. Don't do it. But so if I was going to a place, I would only have 1 or 2 drinks and I'd drive home. Another reason I was doing that is because I was single at the time, and the thought of like stumbling to a taxi rank blind, getting in taxi rank, getting home, trying to, open the door, put myself to bed, waking up the next day on my own, self-loathing, hating life, thinking, who do I talk to? What did I do? What dance moves did I pull? Like all that sort of stuff. There was just so much head noise going on. So that 7 months was really good. Like, as I said, I still drank the odd, drink here and there. And I don't even know what made me get back on it. Might have been like summer. It's like, woo, let's get back on the beers. Like something rubber arm. That's all I needed was a bit of a rubber arm. And then I reckon it was 3 years ago, 2018, I did Dry July. Hated every minute of it. Hated it.
Did you?
Hated it. Like I just was like, I just want to drink. I want to drink because I had a completely different mindset. I was focusing on what I was missing out on rather than what I was gaining. So I was like, I'm going to this event. I can't drink. This is going to be shit. So completely, different mindset to how I am now. And on the 1st of August 2018, my friend and I cracked a bottle of Verve in the office at 10 a.m. down the hatchet.
Bubbles, bubbly brekkie.
The other thing I look back at too is during my pregnancies, I always used to say to people, I've never felt so healthy. I've never felt so good. And I reckon it was because I wasn't drinking. I would have like maybe a glass of red wine, maybe here or there, but I wasn't boozing on and having blinders on the weekend.
Yeah.
So that was sort of, I suppose that's what sparked curiosity for me. And this time around, like when I say this time around, like this year, I just noticed that hangovers were getting worse. We're obviously in lockdown at the moment. Well, we're not, but we have had bouts of lockdown. And I'm just like, it's Groundhog Day, like in lockdown. And then drinking on top of that is just amplifying that Groundhog Day. So, yeah, that's how I suppose I then started questioning my drinking again. And I did have a little another shame story actually that sort of triggered it. I was with some friends and we'd been drinking that night. Thankfully there was a sober person there who also had their kids there, and he put the kids to bed, but I woke up the next morning going, I can't remember putting the kids to bed. And I hated that feeling. I hated not knowing that I said goodnight to them, tucked them in and made sure they were safe. So that's when I really started going, you need to like really look at your relationship with alcohol. So that's where it all began. I started investing in like lots of quit lit. I hate saying that because I always say it fast and it sounds funny. You're hearing me. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah, girl.
Quick lip. Yes. So I read, just immerse myself in quit lit books, podcasts. I started an Instagram account, just really immerse myself in anything that had to do with not drinking alcohol. And here I am. And it feels so good.
Yes, so good. That's amazing, mate. It is. It's such a big deal. And I think the two things there was your change of mindset, which we can use in all of life, isn't it? Instead of focusing on what we don't have, focus on what we do have, or, you know, that switch is just the key of life, isn't it? But surrounding yourself and completely immersing yourself in the direction what you want to align yourself with, it's key, isn't it? And like, I needed that. I needed that from you as like I was in a situation. So my turn now.
Before I hand over to you, one thing I will add, Maso, is I told you, because I was keeping it on the radar, because I'm like, don't want to put pressure on myself, don't want people to poo-poo me. And I told you only because I knew you'd had like bouts of sobriety. So I knew you got it.
Yeah, totally got it. And I needed that because I was deep down in some filthy, dirty drinking at that stage, which I was hiding. Now, here's a shame story. So I became full-time carer for my dad in June this year, and Dad doesn't drink and he goes to bed really early. So every time I come to see Dad, it's always, we call it Robbie's retreat, because it's my time where I'm off the booze, go to bed early, up early, like it's just a really clean, pure lifestyle. When I came home and I was caring for Dad, he was really, really unwell. Side note, he's fine now. He's good as gold. There hasn't been anything sinister. But it was the pressure and stresses that a child looking after their parent, it was so heavy, and I just didn't have that support around me either. I was carrying lots of things going on at the same time, and I did, and I knew it was the worst decision that I could ever make. But I rolled through IGA, through the bottle shop, just because I needed some joy. I needed to take the edge off. I needed something to give me a bit of a spark. And I thought, I'll get the Rosé because that's, you know, my go-to. And then I looked at the gin and I thought, oh, I'll get one of them as well. Like, I just needed something. And I'll tell you what, it did spark joy in me. In fact, Holly Wainwright talks about, her mum says life is just made up of little joys, so things that make you happy all the time, you know, whatever that is. And I rolled out of that bottle shop and I knew I was doing the bad. I knew it was wrong. I knew I was getting myself into trouble doing this, but it made me happy for that tiny little moment. And I made a deal with myself. I thought, I'll just have a double shot gin each night, just sip away at it in my little keep cup, wherever it is, so Dad won't know. And it was just such bliss. And then as the days rolled on, that double gin turned into 2 double gins and 3 double gins. And it started earlier and earlier each day. And it got to the point where I was avoiding walking with my friend because that was going to cut into my drinking time. Yeah, I was
friend dodger.
Yeah, and I thought, no, earlier and earlier in the day, this drinking started to happen, or I couldn't wait, it became lunchtime. I was starting to have these double gins at lunchtime and just sitting there getting hammered, and sneakily, I'm embarrassed and ashamed to even say this, but it's a fact. And as I listen to podcasts and dive more into this, so many people do the same thing. So 2 things there. I used it as a self-medicating, absolutely, but I also used it just as a bit of a joy, just a little bit of a pep up, because I'm here by myself. And yeah, anyway. But this was getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and I knew that I needed to get off it, and I couldn't until we had that Zoom conversation. Now, I'm going to drop a bomb on you that I knew that I'd drop on you at some stage.
I'm buckled up.
Yeah, buckle up, click, clack, front and back. So we had a Zoom conversation, and it was regarding my Instagram page called Liz, Loving Yourself Sick. Check it out.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. Too right. So we were discussing that, of how I was going to ramp things up. And you don't know this, but in my keep cup, I sat there and drank Rosé that day.
You should see my face right now.
I was sipping away at Rosé because I feel really embarrassed about it, but I knew that I would tell you this because I had actually put alcohol in my life just to get through simple tasks. And this had actually happened, like winding it back, since I've finished up at Virgin Australia, because I haven't had a job to go to. I don't have to blow in the bag. I don't have to turn up. I can go to work boozy. Like I don't have any responsibility, as such. Although, I've just been responsible for my dad. That was terrible. If I need to take him to hospital, what was I going to do? Drive up there para? Like, seriously thought I was okay. I mean, he wasn't in a position he needed to go to hospital. That had already been done a few weeks prior. But so even simple tasks such as a Zoom conversation with you, a business chat, I was sipping away a rosé because I thought I needed that to get through just a normal lifing. How bad is that?
Yeah, that's pretty heavy. And thank you for sharing, Maso, because no judgment here, mate. No judgment.
No.
And that's a biggie because you're not just sharing it with me. Obviously, you're putting it out there.
Yeah.
All our listeners.
Woo, yeah. Just on that, sorry. So basically while I was sitting there sipping away and I knew I was being a bad person, Breeza dropped it on me at the end of that Zoom chat to say that she had gotten sober and what do you think? And that conversation changed my life. It completely changed the direction.
So you were still swinging on rosé as I'm telling you I've
alcohol. Oh, yes. So I was sitting there sipping on the rosé as you're telling me, and I did not stop thinking about that. I then started following you. I started following all the alcohol-free pages. I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I didn't want to tell you that how I was feeling about it because I was exactly the same as you. I didn't want to tell you something in case I fell down, in case, So I think I went to Melbourne the following weekend, caught up with my partner. We got really boozy, as we do. Our whole life is surrounded by alcohol. And I haven't had a drink since because I can't tell you how much that Zoom conversation changed the direction of my life. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful and thankful to be here. And I'm horrified that I'm a smart person. I know what alcohol does. It's addictive. And I'm not a drunk in the gutter. I'm a good person, but it just got hold of me as well.
And that's just like you touch on it there about being a drunk in the gutter. It doesn't matter what your relationship is like. If you're starting to question it, if you have one drink a week and you're starting to question that, that's when, there's time to make a change. Maso, thank you so much for sharing. And the fact that you were so supportive of me, you were cheering me on massively, which also helped me. And it is still helping me because we're still freshies. It's been helping me heaps just to stay on track and to keep going and to put it out there because now I'm actually really owning it and I'm telling people I don't drink. Who would have ever thought I would be saying those three words? If I said it to myself, even a year ago, I'd just laugh in my own face.
Yeah.
Because I was probably closed-minded back then and I just thought you had to have alcohol for if you're sad, if you're happy, if you catch up with friends, whatever it is. I just thought alcohol was always going to be in my life. So massive, a small change, but a massive change.
Yes, exactly. You give one thing the flick and so many things just unfold. It's so amazing and fascinating. And that's why for us sharing this, hopefully we can share that joy as well. You can't even describe it, can you, properly, what, alcohol-free life is like.
It's really hard to describe it to someone who has never, tried going without alcohol. It's so hard. And they might just be thinking, oh yeah, cool, you're happy or life's good. But it's just this, everything is clear. You have clarity. You still have problems. Don't get me wrong. Life is still hard. You still have problems, all that, but you work through those problems with a clear head and you feel more equipped with whatever life throws at you.
100%. That reaction and response is level. I'm not as emotional as I used to be, and I'm a very emotional person. But that reaction, I'm not as aggro and fly off the handle or quick to react. It's just everything's a little bit leveled and easier to cope with life.
Yeah. And I don't have any scientific facts on hand at the moment because I know we were going to share these, but I am going to say if you want to know the science behind alcohol, what it does to you, buy the book called Alcohol Explained. We'll pop in the show notes. It's by William Porter, and that was a book I read that completely changed my mindset. It was an absolute game changer for me, and it now makes me look at alcohol totally differently.
100%. And I listened to a podcast with Sober Awkward. They did one with William Porter the other day, which was a game changer for me. What you were referring to earlier, Breeza, about if you think you've got a problem with alcohol or if you're questioning it, even asking that question, you actually probably do, which was a real light bulb moment for me, because I've thought that for a long time. Have I got a problem with alcohol? No, I don't. I'm fine. Like, it's not ruining my life, but I like myself better alcohol-free.
Write that down, peeps. Write that down.
Yeah.
Quote of the app.
Quote unquote.
Okay, text regret. So just to explain text regret. This segment is all about sharing the dumb texts we have sent or you have sent when you've been under the influence of alcohol, which we've all done, right, Maso? I'm sure you've done.
Of too many. I'm sorry to everyone. So all the people.
Yes, everyone I've ever texted when I've had a drink. I'm sorry. We want you guys to send in your text regrets, but they can be absolutely anonymous. So we will pop them up in Insta stories. So let me set the scene for this one. I had been in Melbourne for the weekend. So I'd had like a boozy Sunday sesh in Melbourne. It was a great day, actually. And I kept a lid on it, I hadn't gone too Burko. So I ate at a nice restaurant and went to a few nice bars. So I was with my partner, and then we caught the train back, and we're with some other friends. So then we caught the train back to Bendigo obviously we had to wake up to go to work the next day. And that afternoon at 5 o'clock, so at this stage I reckon I was still at a bar, I got a text message from my daughter's music teacher, guitar teacher, right? Who's a legend. She's an absolute superstar. I love her to bits. So, and you know when like you connect with people and you feel like you can like send them like personal text, right? So that was cool. So she says, "Hello, lovely students. Just a quick message to let you know I've got a bit of a nasty cold and I've decided to not teach tomorrow to try and get better. Sorry for the late notice and sorry I won't be seeing you tomorrow. I will see you next week." Now, a key word in there, which I didn't see, is students. So clearly it's not a message to me. Clearly a group message, right? So then a message comes through, which I didn't see. It says, "Oh, no," from another mum. I was being sent out to school mums, okay? So she wrote, "Oh, no, no fun being unwell. Min, hope you're on the mend soon." So Breeza chimes in, thinking I was texting a friend, actually. I don't think I'd even seen this whole group chat. Thought I was texting a friend. I text, "I'm drunk. Hang on, about to get on the train and regroup. Kiss, kiss." Didn't think anything of it, just tootling away. Then I get a text from the music teacher, just to me. "Hi, Brianna." Oh, hang on. Where is she? Oh, hang on. I've got to go back here. Hi, Brianna. Hope you're regrouped. It was a group message that you were making confessions to. Just so you know, sounds like a fun day. Kiss, kiss.
What a legend.
I died. Yeah, she's a legend. I just died. And I was laughing my head off because I was like drunk and going, "Oh my God, I've just done." But deep down, I was like, my heart was just like chipping away bit by bit, going, what a rat mum, that mum on a Sunday night. I didn't have children with me. Like, let's just make that clear. But yeah, rat mum just sending out to all the school mums, "I'm drunk." Woo!
Oh,
once again, wouldn't have done that if I wasn't affected by alcohol.
Definitely affects you in all sorts of ways, doesn't it?
So if anyone's got text regret that can beat that, we are here for it. We're here for it. Have a little giggle about it and be better people next time.
Yeah, too right. I'll have to dig through the archives and bring one to the party. There'll be plenty. There'll be plenty.
It's time for the recommendation of the week.
All right, my tool of the week, golden milk. It is traditionally an Indian drink. It's through the Ayurvedic medicine world, and our really good friend Genevieve, she went on a trek to Nepal, and she actually did the summit of Everest, and then spent some time in India working on her Ayurvedic medicine. And she told me about this golden milk, and it's made from you put a date, some ghee, non-dairy milk, almond, coconut, turmeric, cardamom, and saffron. I know it sounds a lot, but
wow,
we put it all in the it's so delicious. Now, normally you're meant to, the traditional way is to chop all of those little ingredients up from their fresh and rawest form, which you do, and then you put it in a saucepan and you boil it up or simmer it, and then you drink it, and there's lots of like little chunky bits in it, and it's the whole process of doing that like after dinner rather than drinking. You've got something to look forward to that's going to be nourishing your body, and it keeps you occupied. It gives you something to look forward to, putting something in your body that you know is the benefits are about relaxing, unwinding, improving sleep, mood, memory, brain function. It helps with joint inflammation. It lowers blood sugar levels and boosts your immune system. So there's all these amazing benefits. All these amazing, exactly. There's all these amazing benefits that happen with it. Now, I was doing it from that rawest form initially because it did take time and it was all that whole process. I've gotten really lazy. Now.
It's all about convenience, mate.
It's all about just whack it away. And so now I just use like, already grated coconut or desiccated coconut, almond meal. Like I'm just banging it in. It's only, I'll put the whole process in the show notes. Now, friends of mine that I'd given this to used to put it through the blender, so it was really creamy, and I never wanted to do that because I felt like it was tampering with the whole process because you wanted to keep it at its, and Jen, I think, would be horrified if she knew that.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen. Sorry, Jen. Of taking it from this rawest form and putting it through the blender. And I'm sorry, I have been putting it through the blender.
Just butcher it.
Completely butcher it.
What's it called? What's it called again?
It's called golden milk or turmeric milk. And
so not to be confused with golden shower. Heaps. Yeah. Remember, golden milk, not golden shower. But hey, whatever floats your boat.
So that has been an absolute saviour and a go-to for me, keeping off the gas, because it just keeps me occupied. It's a little dessert. Golden milk, get it in your life.
Bang. Love it.
Thank you.
So next week, Maso, what are we are talking about? We're actually going to be talking about what has worked for us so far along our sobriety. Do we like saying sobriety? I don't know.
It's a really tricky one. It's a bit loaded, isn't it? It comes with sort of boredom. In fact, that's a conversation that we'll be having as well. But I've decided, because I'm really comfortable saying sobriety, because I'm really proud of that and I know what sobriety feels like. But for the average folk, they're like, boring.
You're boring, girl.
So I'm going to call it alcohol-free life.
Love that.
Yes, that's me.
Right.
Yep.
So, yes, we're going to be discussing things that have helped us along our alcohol or in our alcohol-free life.
Yeah. That's us.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, team. It's been so great to have your ears in our potty.
And like, don't we have to say, like, give us a review and stuff? Like, make us go viral.
There's nothing less than 5 stars. Thank you.
Well, yeah, if you like our potty, just tell people. That's all we want to do is tell people. Tell people to get around it, and hopefully they get something out of it. And we hope you guys have got something out of it.
Yes. And any topics you want to maybe get us to talk about, send it in. We may not talk about it. We want you to be involved.
Might put it in the bin. All right. Over and out.
Yo, bye.
Bye.